Welcome to the Meb Faber Show, where the focus is on helping you grow and preserve your wealth. Join us as we discuss the craft of investing and uncover new and profitable ideas, all to help you grow wealthier and wiser. Better investing starts here.
Philipp Faber is the co-founder and chief investment officer at Cambria Investment Management. Due to industry regulations, he will not discuss any of Cambria's funds on this podcast. All opinions expressed by podcast participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Cambria Investment Management or its affiliates. For more information, visit CambriaInvestments.com.
We like to think in terms of a recession risk framework where the starting point is a recognition that recessions are not at all homogeneous, but they typically fall into three groups. The real economy recessions, there are policy errors, and then there are financial system-driven recessions. And these three types, they change over time, but sort of in a 10-year space, they're pretty consistent. And they come with very different downsides, so they're not equally bad. The financial system recession would be sort of the worst type of recession you could have. Think 2008. A lot of real economy recessions are pretty shallow, by and large. And so we like this risk type and recession type framework. It served us well over the years. And cancer and stroke and heart disease analogy, it comes from an attempt to make this a little more accessible to people who don't think about this nonstop, right? And we're basically looking at the history of human mortality, where once upon a time, infections was what you died of. I mean, your susceptibility to infections was very, very high. And so your mortality share of cancer and heart disease was actually very low because most people just died of infections. Then comes along penicillin. It brings down the rate of death stemming from infections, but it pushes up the share, or the market share, if you will, of cancer and of heart disease in the mortality distribution. And so essentially, you get a shift in the risk profile. The human longevity risk profile shifts toward heart disease and cancer as we conquer infections. And we use that analogy to make similar points about real recessions versus policy error recessions versus financial recessions. Real recessions used to be very common, like infections that kill people. The weather used to give you a real economy recession 100 whatever years ago because it was an agrarian economy. Well, now you don't see real economy recessions that often. That in the middle of the last century, it was a lot about policy error recessions because monetary policy was on a learning curve and climbed that learning curve. And so the risk profile shifted over time into financial recessions, which are, I'm not saying that they're very frequent, but if and when they hit, they're particularly pernicious.
Podcast listeners will post show notes to today's conversation at mebfaber.com/podcast. If you love the show, if you hate it, shoot us feedback at themebfabershow.com. We love to read the reviews. Please review us on iTunes and subscribe to the show anywhere good podcasts are found. Thanks for listening, friends, and good investing.